And away from that, a Russian fighter jet has forced down a U.S. Air Force drone over the Black Sea Tuesday after damaging the propeller of the American MQ-9 Reaper drone. According to a statement from U.S. European Command, the Reaper drone and two Russian Su-27 aircraft were flying over international waters over the Black Sea when one of the Russian jets intentionally flew in front of and dumped fuel on the unmanned drone several times. Pentagon spokesman Brigadier General Patrick Ryder said the Russian aircraft flew in the vicinity of the drone for 30 to 40 minutes before colliding just after 7 a.m. Central European time. The incident marks the first time Russian and U.S. military aircraft have come into direct physical contact since Russia launched its invasion of Ukraine just over a year ago, and is likely to increase tensions between the two nations, with U.S. calling Russia's actions reckless, environmentally unsound, and unprofessional. Russian ambassador to the U.S., Anatoly Antonov, said Russia does not want confrontation between his country and the U.S. after he was summoned to the State Department following the downing of the drone.
So first of all, I would like to highlight U.S. European Command's statement released earlier today confirming that two Russian Su-27 aircraft conducted unsafe and unprofessional intercept with a U.S. Air Force intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance unmanned MQ-9 aircraft that was operating within international airspace over the Black Sea today. To recap, at approximately 7:03 a.m. Central European time, one of the Russian Su-27 aircraft struck the propeller of the MQ-9, causing U.S. forces to have to bring the MQ-9 down in international waters. Several times before the collision, the Su-27s dumped fuel on and flew in front of the MQ-9 in a reckless and unprofessional manner. This incident demonstrates a lack of competence in addition to being unsafe and unprofessional.
And for more on this, global affairs analyst Sam Fateh joins me from Washington, D.C. Good to have you join us.
My pleasure.
So the U.S. has described this as reckless, environmentally unsound, and unprofessional. But authorities in Ukraine have described this as a routine incident. But just in terms of the optics of this, how bad is it?
No, it's not that bad. I mean, if it's that bad, we would have seen a huge diplomatic row over it. Antonov has been to the State Department. He was there barely for 30 minutes, right about 30 minutes, according to reports and some of the reporters that were in the State Department, right? So, I mean, for 30 minutes, then it was not that bad. And he came out and said, in quote, that they had constructive, dialogue about the matter. Obviously, for the U.S. authorities and for its allies, it's more about, what was the intent of all the maneuvers and what was the intent of pouring jet fuel on the drone, in international airspace and over international waters, right? So they're trying to figure out the intent. I think that knowing the intent is more important to the United States than even the actual incident itself.
But just in terms of intent, we've had several takes from military strategists and analysts around the world. Some say that, look, this could be deliberate, that the pilot must have been taking command from someone or taking orders from someone. Just like Ukraine, others are saying, look, this is probably just a routine incident. But what does this mean for an already fragile relations between the U.S. and Russia? And could this escalate further?
I don't think we should expect any escalation or retaliation in this manner. Deliberate, yes, I think it was very deliberate. Was the pilot taking orders? Maybe, maybe not. There is nothing that would say that was what happened. I mean, everybody can analyze it a little bit differently, but there's one thing that cannot be given away. Was it deliberate? It was deliberate. You pump jet fuel on it, which Russia didn't deny, and then you hit the propeller, and you didn't shoot at it. If you shoot at the drone, that would have been seen as an act of war or as a provocation. But one word that has not been used here that I've been looking for from any of the sides was provocation. and there was no indication from any side. And they have all been careful, including the U.S. and its allies, not to use the word provocation for whatever reason. But was it deliberate? Yes, by all indication. Now, what does this mean, especially considering the war in Ukraine? I mean, it means that Russia is pretty much saying that they're not going to give up, that they're going to fight, that they are going to also try to gain as much territory as they can, and that they are prepared to face anybody, anywhere. Now, how is the U.S. and its ally going to respond? I don't think they will respond by increasing sanctions or anything like that. The best way that they will respond is to provide support to the Ukrainian government and to ensure that, and to state categorically clear that they will defend themselves if they are attacked anywhere in the world, including international airspace or over international waters.
And the Black Sea is a very contentious area because it's part of the Crimea where that Putin annexed from Ukraine. Now everyone says, look, is international territory and anyone can go there. We've continued to see the level of confrontation around that area. What can be done? Because Ukraine is saying, look, if the West wants to look weak, it should become more cautious when it comes to the Black Sea. That's the easiest way to look weak. What can the West do in terms of handling Putin and his that level of protection and determination he has around the Black Sea?
Well, here's the thing. Putin, Russia and the Kremlin, and Putin has to be very careful, obviously, not to violate any international laws, not to attack any foreign military assets that are over international airspaces and water. But also, they have to be very, very careful not to cross into the Crimean Peninsula or into their airspace, because they annexed it. Once something is annexed internationally, we can say, look, we do not recognize it as part of Russia. But if you want to attack it, Russia says it's our territory now. They are going to fight back, and then there goes war breaking out. Obviously, one of the ways that Ukraine have shown times without number now that they will be able to attack Russia even within its own territories. One, we have seen it when the bridge that connects the mainland Russia to Crimea been blown. We have seen drones that have been provided to Ukraine by European countries, and most especially by the United States, being used to attack facilities right inside Russia as well. So Ukraine is trying to show that, look, they do have the capability, they have the capacity, and they will attack inside Russia. So Russia now, if they see a drone as well, they are going to do everything to take down that drone. But there's a thin line there, which is in what airspace, over what waters. The Black Sea is contentious, yes, but it doesn't mean that if you see a drone in the Black Sea, you have to shoot it down or conduct any form of provocation or dump fuel on it and try to give it mechanical issues so they can forcefully bring it down. U.S. is yet to recover this. They're going to try to recover this drone, and we will see what follows after that.
Absolutely. We're following that development. Thank you so much for talking to us, Global Affairs Analyst Sam Fati.
My pleasure.